All right, I had some questions on Khan Academy, especially the ones where they give you the midpoint. So I'm going to run through one here. This is straight from your Khan Academy assignment. You may or may not get this exact question, but it's a question just like it. So it's giving you point A, -3, -5, and it gives you the midpoint of AB. It gives you the midpoint of AB, which is -1, -7. And it wants you to find point B. It wants you to find point B. So this is some X and some Y. So I explained a couple days ago, they give you the midpoint. If we can kind of reverse engineer this, we can do the formula backwards. We can do the formula backwards to find those unknown X and Y's, point B. All right, here's how it works. The formula says I can find the coordinates of the midpoint by adding the X's up and dividing by 2. In this case, I already know the coordinates of the midpoint. Coordinate of the midpoint is -1. In this case, I already know one of the X's. One of the X's is a -3. You guys follow me so far? And then I just have to solve that equation. So I multiply both sides by 2. So I take -1 times it by 2. I take this whole fraction, multiply it by 2. The reason I do that is these are going to cancel. When they cancel, it doesn't affect the top at all. You just have to rewrite it. Simplify the left side. Then I add over 3. So my x coordinate for B is 1. Now I just have to find y. To find y, it's the same process. Again, they give us a formula, add the y's together, divide by 2. That will give you your y coordinate for your midpoint. In this case, we already have the y coordinate for the midpoint, so we just use that. We have one of the y's, so we use it. The divided by 2 just comes from the midpoint formula. What we found out yesterday after doing a bunch of these, not yesterday, 2 days ago, was that if you just multiply by 2 and then subtract over the other endpoint, you will get the endpoint you're looking for. So I double the coordinates of the midpoint. And then I will subtract over, and of course if you're subtracting a negative, that's adding. Then I will subtract over the coordinates of one midpoint. That will give you the coordinates of the other endpoint. So the y coordinate is -9 for point B. Takes a little bit of work. The more you do, the better you get. Again, once you do enough of these, you'll realize the pattern. You can almost put these in your head. I know, it sounds crazy. Do you want to see how? All right. sounds crazy, but I'm not a genius and I can do them in my head. I just done a lot of practice. You might not be a genius either, but that doesn't mean you can't do them in your head. All right, here let me find a good one here. I'm gonna back this up and do this one. All right, if A is -7, -7, the midpoint is -6, 1, -6, -1. They want you to find B. Okay, again, the pattern is I just have to double the midpoint coordinate and then subtract over the endpoint coordinate. Double -6, what do you get? -12. When you subtract the -7, it's actually adding 7. So -12 plus 7 now. Close. You went the wrong way. -12 plus 7. -5. That's your coordinate for your B. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't -6 lie right in the middle of -5 and -7? Yeah. So it makes sense so far, right? Okay. Again, double the midpoint, subtract over the endpoint. Okay. Double -1 you get -2, subtract over -7, which is actually adding. Right? When you subtract the negative, it's actually adding. So double -1, which would be -2, add 7, which would be -2 plus 7. I heard it. There you go. All right, let's see if that makes sense. So if this is in the middle, that means each side of it has to be even, right? So -1 to -7, how many units is that? -1 to -7, how many? 6 units, right? 6 units apart. -1 to 5, how many units is that? 6. 6 units apart. So that is the middle. Whoa. You guys didn't trust me, did you? So, huh?
Can we do that?